Hello and welcome to week number 9 of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Qualifiers here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's a 1.52 kilometer circuit using the long layout once again. It's the third time we visited Atlanta Motor Speedway this season, the final time I should note at that. The second time we're using the long configuration. We saw some great action here back at week 2 of the series 7 weeks ago, and I'm looking forward to more of the same this time by. My name is Dane Baird and I'm joined in the commentary booth by Joshua Lee with
this race to be a great one back at Atlanta. And like Dan said, we've had some exciting racing here in the past. We took a little break from the Atlanta Motor Speedway, went to Daytona twice, and then Phoenix. All great races at those courses, and we're looking for more of the same. This Atlanta track, very unique. You can see it right there. They start on the dirt. What an insane start it is going to be, especially in that feature race where 10 cars are going to line up on that dirt to go storming into turn number 1. You're currently looking at Ilari Laminsavu going to start his qualifying lap up and over that tabletop and onto the front straightaway. Going to take that green flag for his first qualifying lap of the session. We'll see where he'll be able to qualify and where he'll be starting in his heat race.
Yeah, sorry about that. My microphone just decided to rip the cord right out of my PC, but I'm back now, and that is Ilari Laminsavu, obviously, with Vendaval Sim Racing. They just got a new driver as well. I can't remember who exactly that was, but they do have an extra driver to their lineup now. And that is Garrett Maines, obviously race winner a couple of weeks ago. He's going to be looking to do pretty well here as well. We're riding on board with him. The Joker is down on the right-hand side, you can see there. We're going to take the left here for the main circuit. They have to run it in qualifying around the famous donk slide. The final time we'll be seeing this season, but they will be back twice, I believe, for the Rallycross World Championship starting in a few weeks' time. So nearing the end of this pro qualification series, week number 9 of 13 counted weeks. Obviously a leap season this season, so rather than the traditional 12 weeks with a week 13 at the end, we've got 13 weeks with a week 14 at the end. And Garrett Maines is going to come and cross the line for his second lap, and is he going to improve? He does, and that puts him up into 4th then. Oikainen currently on provisional pole position with Otto Taskinen. That's a name that some of you might recognize as well. Obviously World Championship driver from last year. Did pretty well as well. There's Latinaki there in the Beetle for Black Star Racing. Coming over the jump, and he's going to be starting, I believe, his last lap.
Oikainen with a blazing fast lap, 44.19 seconds. 44.185 to be exact, and nobody even within a tenth of him right now. Second place is Ilari Laminsavu with a 44.295. So it looks like Joni Oikainen has the speed in that car here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And he's going to be looking to grab that feature win, and he's going to need it in the hunt for that points championship.
Absolutely, he's right up there at the moment in the points championship. Ilari Laminsavu currently setting the fastest second sector out of anyone, but not improving in the first or third sectors. You can see where the sectors are on the track map on the top right of the screen. The red line is the start finish, which we're going to see Latamaki cross underneath right about now, are we? No, we're not. There's Bo Albert, race winner from last week, the Aussie, waking up at around 4:30 in the morning for this, telling me before the race he had about 2.5 hours of sleep before this. Has to get up pretty early for this, obviously living in Australia, and he said that today might not be a good day for anyone to be running side by side with him, as he is currently sitting in 7th, coming around the donk slide, the long left-hander on the dirt, coming to the final corner. This is going to be the first corner that they reach for each of the starts, so this is going to be a big action zone here. Turns to gravel halfway through, up and over the jump. Quite a bit of air here, and the nose tends to stay up in the air, which isn't great. If you hit that back down on the ground too hard, you can get quite a bit of engine damage, and that is it for qualifying, it looks like. As yes, it is, and there are the results then. Joni Oikainen with the fastest time. Ilari Laminsavu, I didn't see that. He managed to get within just over 100th of a second of the set esports driver. Tommy Mäkinen in 3rd, Otto Taskinen in 4th, Garrett Mains in 5th, Latin Mackie in 6th. Then we've got Bo Albert in 7th, Mika Happinen in 8th, Adria Perez, Daniel Matrani, the 2 Spaniards in 9th and 10th. Then we've got Connor Parisi down in 11th and Marcos Matamoros in 12th, but still only half a second separating 1st to 12th. We're going to have 2 6-driver heats, and this is the grid for the first of those. Johnny Olakainen on pole position. Next to him is going to be Tommy Mäkinen and Garrett Mains. We've got Bo Albert and Adria Perez in the 2nd row. Connor Parisi starting on his own in the 3rd row, down in 6th position in that number 5 Jim Beaver Esports car. We're getting ready to go here, Joshua, and we're going to see, I think, some pretty decent action. We've got a very wide run into the first corner here.
It is very wide in the entire first corner. It starts wide and narrows up in the dirt. So I think we're going to see some guys be very brave heading down into turn number 1, not just here in the heats, but also in the consolation and the feature. But I do want to mention something, how this heat has a lot of very fast guys, not just from qualifying today, but from the previous weeks of this series. You know, Garrett Mains, Bo Albert, Adria Perez, Connor Parisi, they all run up front, not to mention Johnny Olakainen. They're all always up front. And look for them to be battling for this heat win.
Absolutely. Johnny Olakainen, our race winner from a couple weeks ago at the short version of the circuit. We're ready to race here for heat number 1. And we go green for the first time at Road Atlanta. And it's a good start from Garrett Mains. Johnny Olakainen's hard on the defensive. Mains up the inside, 3 wide into turn number 1. Olakainen is getting passed by Mäkinen. Mäkinen around the outside. Olakainen all up over the grass. Side by side over the jump for the first time as it comes to start lap number 1. Mäkinen on the grass a little bit there. Garrett Mains falls through into 2nd place.
What a start from Garrett Mains. Olakainen had to go all the way to the grass to try and keep Garrett Mains behind him. But Garrett Mains stuck that Volkswagen Beetle nose straight to the inside. And there goes Olakainen. First lap Joker. He's along with, I believe, Tommy Mäkinen as well, with Adria Perez leading the field coming off of the Joker lane. No, it looks like Adria Perez also took the Joker. 3 cars taking the Joker lap 1.
Let's expect that the other 3 drivers, Garrett Mains, Bo Albert, and Connor Parisi, are going to take that on the last lap. That's probably the most advantageous thing to do. But we saw how much of a part the Joker played the last time we were here. With the last lap overtake from Olakainen storming through, we all thought he was down in 5th position, not a chance of catching up. Didn't realize the Joker delta here is about 8 seconds. It's one of the largest in the series, second only to, I believe, Iowa Speedway, which is more closer to 11 seconds. There's Connor Parisi going to take his Joker. Bo Albert still hasn't. Garrett Mains also took the Joker, so I was completely wrong about them taking on the last lap. They've both just take it on the 2nd lap. Mains up into 2nd, just a second behind Olakainen for the lead of this race. Bo Albert opting to not take it. The only driver who hasn't done so, as they all come over the jump for the 3rd time, I should say. They're going to start lap number 3.
Bo Albert might be more confident in his car right now, where he might be able to take that delta time and be within 8 seconds of the cars and be able to make up more positions than he would be if he took the Joker this time. But take a look at this onboard, just swinging the car through that sweeping dirt turn. And then this dirt turn right here, one of the longest in Rallycross on iRacing. You got to be careful not to overshoot that exit. Just barely overshooting it was Tommy Mäkinen. He goes onto the grass with those right side tires.
Absolutely, and Mains gets a little bit deep into the final corner, manages to pull it back to the inside. He's got that one covered off from Tommy Mäkinen just behind Perez, only a second behind the car that we are on board with, and Connor Parisi battling with him as well. But Albert looks in a good position now to try and take 4th position off of Perez, and remember, the top 4 head to the feature from this heat race, so that is a crucial thing for Albert to be doing now. He's dropping back ever so slightly now, but if he can keep that gap more or less where it is, I think he might have a good chance of getting into that 4th position when he takes his Joker lap and next lap, because remember, we're already on lap 4 or 5, and next time by is going to be the last lap, as Olakainen has pulled a 1.7 gap at the front. That
gap was about 8 seconds from Bo Albert up to Adria Perez. So we'll see if he's able to make that pass. He's going to need to do it on this last lap. Entire field going to come across, take the white flag. But this is the current battle for the transfer spot between Parisi and Perez. Perez playing the defensive into the first chicane.
Parisi was looking at it out of the jump, and he's going to be very close as we ride on board with Perez looking back at Parisi, but these two don't want to be fighting. Parisi obviously has to try and get past. There's a little bit of a touch there through the donk slide. Looked up the inside at Parisi, and there's Bo Albert going to come out of the Joker right in front of Adrian Perez, and he manages to take 4th position there. Conor Parisi and Perez still side by side for 5th and 6th. This is just for grid position for the consolation at this point, but there is the race leader, then Joni Olakainen in that number 2 set esports car is going to cross the line to win at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Heat number 1, he's got pole position for the feature as well. Garrett Maines will take 2nd, Mackinnon just behind him in 3rd. Albert with a last lap Joker to take 4th, and unfortunately for Adria Perez and Conor Parisi, Perez managing to get ahead of the American there at the end, and those two are going to be sent to the consolation, their confirmation of the results on the screen.
And what a last lap Joker from Bo Albert there, going from 6th to 4th, and for the transfer spot. Is what an insane move from the Australian to get that transfer spot. But there is your heat number 2 starting grid. Lari Laminsavu will lead the field to the green. Otto Taskinen will be in 2nd place. Toni Latimaki in 3rd. Mika Happinen in 4th. Mitrani in 5th. And Marcos Matamoros will start in 6th place here in heat number 2. We saw some exciting Jokers. We saw half the field take the Joker first lap. The other 2 take it next time by. Then Bo Albert with a wonderful last lap Joker to grab that transfer spot. Will we see much of the same here in heat number 2? Those green lights going on. There's 5, and they're going to go out. We're racing here in heat number 2 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Good start from Laminsavu. He's going to try and cover the lead, but there goes Toskinen on the outside, trying to make something happen in that VW Beetle. That's now 3 wide for 2nd. Beating and banging his way up there is Happinen. Happinen going for 2nd. They were 3 wide of the jump, but taking that 2nd spot is going to be Toni Latimaki, as they're still going to go 3 wide into the chicane. Contact around goes Marcos Matamoros, and spinning as well is it Mitrani. But 3 cars down the Joker. Laminsavu, Latimaki, Happinen, all take it.
That was a hectic start, 3 wide over the jump, as you said, and they try to make it 3 wide into the chicane for turns 1, 2, and 3. That's never going to work, and Matamoros came off definitely 2nd best out of those drivers there. 4 Finns are leading the pack then. Top 3 Joker, bottom 3 decided not to. Danny Mitrani getting pushed wide as well by Otto Taskinen as they came around the first few corners. Coming round to start lap number 2 of 5, 2 Black Star Racing drivers of Latimaki and Happinen going at it with each other in the 2 Beetles. It's a Beetle Fest this week. We've seen so far only 2 Subarus that I've seen, and that is Laminsavu currently leading this one, and Conor Parisi, who finished last in heat number 1. So you can see just how close all of the cars are. It's more down to driver skill than anything else. We've seen Laminsavu consistently running at the front of the field, and he's doing that once again with a 1.5 second lead here at Atlanta Long. We've got Latimaki and his teammate Mika Happinen just behind. Let's see who is going to take the Joker as they come round to start lap number 3. Taskinen and Mitrani and Matamoros still not taking theirs on lap number 2. I think these guys are going to leave it till the end.
Be interesting to see how much they can make up and where that delta is going to be when they try and take that Joker. They're on lap 3. You're looking at Mika Happinen trying to chase down. There's Otto Taskinen, the first of the 3 drivers who have not elected to take their Joker lap so far. There's the other 2. That's Daniel Matrini and Matamoros. They're all just trying to play catch up and make sure that that delta is within 8 seconds. Right now, the delta to 4th place between each of these cars is within that 8-second delta. But remember, 4th place still has not taken that Joker as well.
Absolutely. Otto Taskinen last season of the Thrustmaster iRacing Rallycross World Championship, as it was known last season. He did drive a nap, but lost a seat for not finishing in the top 10, as did many of the other drivers. Danny Mitrani, another one. Marcos Matamoros, 2. So the bottom 3 drivers in this heat, all World Championship drivers from last season, trying to regain their seats. As Danny Mitrani, number 11 positive sim racing car, takes to the Joker. He's going to come out comfortably in 4th position. Taskinen is about, let's see, 5 seconds behind those, so he's not safe in that 4th position at all. As Danny Mitrani, he needs to try and get a move on here. As Otto Taskinen, just about 6 seconds now behind, and I think that's easily going to get in 4th position if he can keep it on the circuit for this final lap of the race that we've just started.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that Joker lane. Otto Toskanen and Marcos Matamoros all have not taken it yet. Here's Toskanen, and there he goes down the Joker lane. Where will he come out? He's scored in 4th right now, and he will be in 4th. Otto Toskanen, he's now going to battle 3rd, going around, make it happen, but he spins. He is going to turn 1, trying to get it reversed, and back going. There's Matamoros into 4th. Ilari Laminsavu is going to take 1st place. There's Latimaki. There's Mika Happinen. And there is Marcos Matamoros capitalizing on Danny Matroni's spin to win, to get that transfer spot. And there is Danny Matroni, damaged and all. An unfortunate run, but there is Otto Toskanen, who also spun on that last lap. 2 damaged cars heading to the consolation, Dane.
Absolutely. I hope we can get a replay of that in just a moment's time after we see the confirmed results on the screen. Then top 4 heading to the feature. I think Matrani was going to go past Otto Toskanen, trying to get his car turned around. I think they made contact into the final corner there. Marcos Matamoros just said, "Thank you very much. I'll take that final feature spot." That's awful for both of those 2 drivers at the back there. They could have still tried to fight it out for the last positions, but here's the grid for the consolation. Adjo Perez in 1st, Matrani in 2nd, Parisi in 3rd, and then Otto Toskanen is going to be at the back there. But real scenes here in the final lap of that heat race with Fenalosa, Daniel Matrani, Fenalosa in that Positive Sim Racing car, making contact right at the end. We're going to see Toskanen waiting as long as he dares to grid up. I think he only has about 5 more seconds to do so. We're going to be waiting for him as Joshua, the lights are about to come on.
Consolation about to go green. There's the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green, and they are out. Away we go. Danny Matroni with a good start, but there is Adria Perez covering that inside from Parisi, but around the outside is going to go Danny Matroni. He's going to have on the inside Adria Perez. He hit that handbrake. You saw those rear tires lock up, and he is able to save that spin to a good exit out of the corner over the tabletop, and Perez looked like he might have been out of this thing, but now he's leading the way through the first chicane.
Good start from Perez, instantly covering off Connor Parisi, who also got a good start. Danny Matrani with a bit of a sideways moment out of turn 3 there, and there goes Toskanen, first lap Joker, the only driver of the consolation so far to do so. Connor Parisi down in 4th, he's going to have to get a move on as well to get ahead of Danny Matrani. They're going almost side by side to this long dirt left-hander, a bit on the grass. You don't want to be doing that too much. Like grass will pull you out into those Armco barriers on the outside. Parisi's going to have a look down the inside of the final corner. Yes, he is, as he comes around over the jump, and it's a bit of a shunt, but he manages to get the move done up into 3rd. Danny Matrani moves down into 4th as they start lap 2 of 6.
That delta for Connor Parisi right now, 8.3 seconds is the gap. He is almost within that delta time. If he takes the Joker this time by, he might have a run at the lead, but he's not going to take it. He's going to try and make it up, but there goes Perez right around to the lead. Toskanen now into P2.
Absolutely, Perez with a good Joker there up into the lead then. And there's Danny Matrani. Oh, and like I said, the grass, it's downhill sloping there, and he just taps the Armco barrier. Not going to give him any damage for that, any substantial damage anyway at that. And he comes around the final corner. He's going to start lap 3 for himself, but he is quite a bit behind Connor Parisi, and that is not where he wants to be. Those 2 Joker, and he's going to end up at best in 3rd, but it's more likely going to end up still in last position because Toskanen has got a bit of a gap to these guys at the back.
Connor Parisi right now is out of that delta time. He's going to need to make up a lot of time, but he has a mirror full of Danny Matrani right behind as that 11 car tries to make up as much time in many positions as he can right now. But Parisi, all he has his eyes set on as we are halfway through this consolation is just being within that delta time to take that Joker and have a chance at a transfer spot. Right now it's at 9 seconds. He needs to make up an entire second on the track right now, Dane.
Absolutely, all 4 of these drivers, it's worth mentioning, World Championship drivers from 2019. Connor Parisi, we're seeing now, had the season to forget, but he really needs to get a move on now as he comes around lap 4. Parisi's going to take to the Joker, and you can see there, nowhere near Otto Taskin. You can see the gap there is about a second behind, and that is not enough to get through to the feature. He needs to finish in second or higher. He's got 2 laps now to make a move for second position, but he has to catch up first.
Seen how difficult passing can be, not just here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, but in these rally cars. It is very difficult to get around somebody because these drivers are so good at making their cars about as wide as the racetrack. So it's going to be very difficult for Parisi to try and get around Taskinen, assuming he can even get to his back bumper.
Absolutely, here is Taskin coming around the left-hander, gained a little bit of time to Perez ahead, and Parisi a little bit of a tap to the wall, I think, on the inside there. Yeah, you can see there's a bit of damage to his car. Matrani is now about 10 seconds behind Parisi, so I think he's going to finish in dead last. Remember, no points really given for these consolation races. 4th for the win, and then second place gets 3 points, 3rd place gets 2 points. Matrani will end up with only 1 point. And considering that the winners of the feature will get upwards of 100 points, maybe even upwards of 200 points actually, in these higher strength of field races, that's really nothing in comparison. So you really do need to get to the feature in order to get decent points, and points equals championship places in the World Championship. Matrani not looking good at the moment, but Perez coming around the white flag lap, Parisi into the wall almost, Matrani as well in the background, but Perez coming around the final corner is about to win the consolation, and Taskinen is about to take the second transfer spot.
2 weeks in a row that Parisi misses out on that feature spot, but Perez, Taskinen gonna come across the line. They are both going to make their way into the feature as Danny Matrani spins right before that start-finish line. He's gonna get a point in the right direction and finish this consolation race. We've got 2 more to add on to those 8 in the feature. 10 cars ready to take the grid.
Absolutely, there is a confirmation once again of the results. Perez and Taskinen will be heading through to the feature. Connor Parisi and Matrani for Jim Beaver Esports and Positive Sim Racing are not going to make it to the feature once again for Connor Parisi, but Johnny Olakainen in the number 2 City Sports car is taking pole position. Eli Laminsavu will line up alongside him, as will Garrett Maines. Tony Latinmaki and Tommy Mackinnon will take the second row of the grid. Behind them will be Mika Happinen, Bo Albert and Marcos Matamoros, with Adria Perez and Otto Taskinen at the back. This is a 10-car grid. It's going to be the first time we see all 10 cars on this grid coming down into turn number 1. We've seen carnage here in the past couple of weeks ago, and also back in week 2. This is going to be a hectic start. I think it's a really wide entry to the corner, but the corner narrows up a lot as we head into the middle. All the drivers are on the grid then. We're about to see the lights. There they are up on the screen. You can see the green lights. The revs are rising for the feature. And we go green for the final time. It's a good start from Lemon Sivu there, but Maines up the inside. Once again, a great start from him. Almost full wide into turn number 1. Still side by side, a bit of banging doors. And Lemon Sivu gets all the way into first position. Big spin at the back. That's Bo Albert, Matamoros, and looks like happening as well in the background there. Big contact behind. Oh, massive contact behind us. Taskinen and Matamoros involved once again. A lot of drivers taken out from that one as well. Latinmaki involved in that as well. Let's see who jokers at the start here. Olakainen opts not to. There's Garrett Maines. He's going to. Lemon Sivu does as well.
Garrett Maines down. Elori Laminsavu took the Joker, as well as Bo Albert. There's your top 3, all have taken the Joker. Now they're going to battle for this race win. And there's Mika Happinen, contact to that inside wall. There goes Adrian Perez around. He now is in P number 5, trying to chase down Johnny Olakainen, who is currently the first of the group who have not taken their Joker lanes.
We know how dangerous he can be when he hasn't taken his Joker. He creeps up behind you. Don't see him coming, and then in the last lap, bang. Don't even know where he's gone. You see a car in front of you, like, oh, he's taken the Joker and he's in the lead of the race. That's what happened a couple of weeks ago. And here is Garrett Maines dropping back a bit from Lemon Sivu, getting under a little bit of pressure from Bo Albert just behind. Obviously, last week's race winner with a bit of extra confidence, and that is Otto Taskinen in the grid spaces just behind that shot in the background. He has retired from the race, so he's not going to finish, unfortunately. There he is. And Garrett Maines is currently still sitting in second, but Lamansivu getting a move on. He knows how dangerous Olakainen can be in that Joker phase, and he is wanting none of it. Gap up to 10 seconds now.
And Maines just looking to try and keep at least P number 2 because he can see Lamansivu in front of him. He hit the wall. He hit the wall twice going into that corner there. That's going to slow him down. He's going to hope he doesn't have damage to that front end to hopefully get this car around. But there's Bo Albert also hitting the wall. Everybody is getting those cars into the walls right now in one way or another. Every car seems to have some sort of damage on them.
Unlike most of the Rallycross circuits, there's walls on the inside of pretty much every corner. This is the only sort of corner complex that we see that doesn't have walls somewhere on the side of the track there. But they have those big blue turtles. We saw what happened to Georgi Zavsan a couple of 7 weeks ago. Last time he visited this circuit. Not something that he'll want to be revisiting. I think he's down in the second split tonight, unfortunately. But Garrett Maines still under a bit of pressure from Albert. That gap, interestingly enough, from Lamansivu has lost time to Olakainen. So Olakainen still building up that gap. Maines running very wide on the outside on the background of that shot there. And Albert closes the gap some more. Second between second and third currently. But those two are both in danger of being overtaken by Olakainen once he takes the Joker. We're halfway through this lap 5, to this race I should say. Lap 5 of 10.
Lamansivu is just so good at getting out in front off the start and just pulling away. He runs such consistent lap times that he's almost just like an AI. He just makes the perfect lap each and every time he goes around this circuit, and he just knows exactly where the car is going to be pointed, what it's going to do, and this is just a showing right here. He is just pulling away from the field and not looking back.
Oh, and as you say that, you're giving them the commentator's curse, running a little bit wide. Could have been a lot worse there. The grass drags you out there. They only got a couple of wheels onto it. He's lost a couple of tenths. That's not going to do him too much harm. But as I say that, the gap is now only 9 seconds between himself and Olakainen. That is dangerous territory he's busy living in right now. So though the delta is 8 seconds for the Joker, you get a massive boost of speed compared to drivers taking the normal line if you come out of that Joker exit, and that could be enough at this stage for Olakainen to either overtake or come very close to doing so on Alari. There he is in the Set Esports VW Beetle, and he's coming around the donk side now. Lap 6 of 10. He's got 4 more opportunities to take that Joker. It's going to be interesting to see when he does. The gap now down to 7.5 seconds. Big trouble for Lamansivu. He's lost 1.5 seconds coming around the final corner.
This is getting into dangerous territory, but when will Johnny Olakainen take that Joker lane? Will it be this time by? Nobody else has taken the Joker lane since lap 1. Those 3 cars up at the front, Lamansivu, Maines, and Albert, are still the only drivers to take the Joker lane so far today. And with 4 laps remaining, and that delta time within 8 seconds, will Johnny Olakainen take it? No, he's still going to go around that Joker lane, saving it for one of the last 3 laps of this race.
He's gained time pretty much every lap. You can see there, Lamansivu losing time since lap 2 was the last time he gained time on Olakainen. Olakainen been chipping away a little bit by little bit, but lap 6 was 1.5 seconds gain. Right near the end, he's going to gain another 3 or 4 tenths of a second in this lap as well, catching up to Bo Albert, who's already taken this Joker. So you can see how much time he's gained. He's even gained enough to catch up to drivers who have taken their Joker. So he's gained a lot of time here. Less than a second separating now, and he doesn't want to be stuck behind Bo. He's going to take the Joker this lap, I think. No, he's not.
No, he's not. He's going to stay behind Bo Albert. I'm wondering if he thinks that Bo Albert's not going to be that much of an issue for him. He can maybe get around him, but that gap is only 7.5 seconds, like we've said all day. That delta time for the Joker. You take the Joker lane, you lose about 8 seconds, or you gain about 8 seconds on your lap time. So that means that if the gap between Johnny Olakainen and Alari Lamansivu is under 8 seconds, he has a great chance of taking the lead. And there he goes, trying to look to the inside of Bo Albert. He's going to make the pass here, but with 2 laps to go, he's going to need to take the Joker lane very soon. There he goes around Bo Albert, but the gap now is only about a tenth above 8 seconds. He's going to take the Joker lane. Will he come out in the lead? No! He is behind Alari Leminsamu, but he's going to be within striking distance to the outside. Johnny Ollikainen is going to take the lead heading in to the final 2 series of corners and onto the white flag lap. Now it's a battle between the top 2. Ollikainen, Leminsamu onto the white flag lap, 1 versus 1.
That was a great joke from Ollikainen. I thought he would have taken it a lap earlier. It would have been much better for him to do so. He got stuck behind Bo. You could see that. You could see how close Ilari is behind him now. That gap less than half a second. Leminsamu all over the curbs there. Coming through the donk side. He's got to get a good exit out of here now. It looks like Ollikainen's got the better exit. He needs to get a good run down to that final complex of corners. The last corner on the circuit. And it looks like Ollikainen's got this one in the bag. He gained almost a half a second through the final corner. He comes now onto the dirt. He's going to come over the jump. No issues for him here. Over the jump he goes, down towards the finish line, and Joni Ollikainen once again a winner in the iRacing World Championship Qualifier Series.
Just what a series of laps that was. He was able to get that delta time within where it needed to be. He took the Joker lane and just a perfect pass along the outside to grab that win. There's the remainder of the fields coming across. There's Tony Latimaki going into P number 8. And Marcos Matamoros, your final car, running on the course, finishing in P number 9. Just what a final battle for the win that was in the last 2 closing laps of this race.
Absolutely, he only just made the move around the outside work there. Leminsamu just not late enough on the brakes. I thought there might be contact as they came around there. There was that close, but Joni Ollikainen once again winning here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Ilari Leminsamu taking second again. He seems to do that a lot lately in the last 2 rounds of the season, taking second quite often here. Garrett Maines in third. Adria Perez is going to take 4th. Bo Albert, last week's race winner, in 5th. Tommy Mäkinen for Backhorse Sim Racing in 6th. Then Mika Happinen, Tony Latimaki, and Marcos Matamoros in the last 3 positions. Otto Teskanen retiring after the incident at the start. I'm just wondering if we can get a replay of what happened at the start there, because that was really interesting stuff there that happened. A lot of stuff happening at the start into the first corner, as we can see here, Josh.
Start was just insane, and you can see 5 cars at least just getting some sort of damage there, and oh, just such a you talked about it, the grass just kind of sucks you in, and that's exactly what happened there. Oh, and he reversed right into Marcos Matamoros, so ruining 2 races for the price of 1 there. The Otto Toskanen just getting the bad end of the stick there. They went 4 wide for a moment going into this first corner, and they're all on each other's bumper. They kind of just ran out of room going through that dirt section, because like we said, it goes from a wide turn into very narrow coming up to the tabletop, and just an unfortunate series of events there for everybody in the back of this field.
Absolutely, that was really unfortunate, especially for Otto. This is the first time I think we've seen him in the qualifier series in the top split races that we've been broadcasting here on Apex Racing TV, but unfortunately for him, it didn't end very well. It ended way too soon for him. And let's see who we've got for an interview then. We've got, of course we do, we've got our race winner, Joni Ollikainen. Let's move him in here for a quick word then. Joni, welcome to the commentary box. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Talk us through that race. Talk us through the race then. Once again, similar story to last time we visited the circuit. Very late joker for the win.
Yeah, my start was quite bad and I dropped behind Ilari. So we just thought that we are going to do different strategy than Ilari, so we can try to challenge him for the win. And yeah, first couple of laps was quite bad for me. I lost some time to Ilari, but then I could do quite good laps, and I think he made some mistakes, so I catch him quite a bit, and it was enough when I went to Joker.
Talk us through why you didn't take the Joker a lap earlier, because you eventually got stuck behind Bo Albert there. I would have thought you would take the Joker a lap sooner than you did, so you wouldn't have to try and overtake Bo.
Yeah, we thought I have enough gap for him, but I think he had some damage or something, so he was surprisingly slow. So it didn't went like it should have been, but yeah, it was enough. So it was not so bad.
Yeah, and then once you took the Joker, coming out just behind Ilari, but with enough speed to make the move around the outside, and definitely not the easiest pass there. You had to trust him quite a lot to go around the outside there.
Yeah, it was quite tight. I thought Ilari will try to overtake me in the next corner, but luckily he didn't try it, so I could manage to keep the P1 and win.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations for the win. Next week, I'm not too sure. Is it Iowa next week, I think?
I'm not sure also, but it may be Iowa.
Well, good luck for the rest of this week. Thanks for joining us in the commentary box. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to say thanks to my team Set Esports, all my teammates, and Aleksi Koskinen, who was my spotter in this race. And of course, all my sponsors.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. It is Iowa next week. I've just checked the schedule. So good luck for the rest of this week and good luck for Iowa next week as well. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Good to hear from Yanni there. And Joshua, I think you've got Ilari waiting as well in the commentary box as well.
Ilari Lemintsvu, welcome to the booth here on Apex Racing TV. A good race for you. You led pretty much every lap except for those last two. Talk about your race, and were you watching that Joker Lane Delta closely while you were leading the race?
Actually, I didn't check like others at all, like where they are. I just tried to drive clean laps because a few corners in this track is so hard to drive with Subaru because it's so big. But still made few mistakes. But yeah, I'm still happy to that second place.
And you had pressure from a lot of guys behind you, but especially at that end of that race, when Johnny Alikainen took that Joker lane, were you thinking about defending going into that corner, or was he already to your outside when just any thought of defending really came up in your mind?
No, I didn't want to like risk the race for both. I mean, I didn't want any crashes, so I just thought if he have more speed to pass me from outside, then he can pass me. So, I mean, second place is still nice, like amount of points. So, yeah.
Anyone you would like to thank before we send you off?
Thanks for the team, Vendaval Sim Racing, and thanks for the team sponsors, SimuCube, Draw1s, and Valco.
Ilari Lemintsvu, P number 2 finisher. Thank you for the interview. Garrett Mains is standing by with Dane now.
Absolutely. Let's get him up in here. If I can find the correct channel. There he is then. P3 finisher today. Garrett, welcome to the commentary box. Talk us through that race.
Man, I really, with that start, I thought I was going to be able to do a little bit more. I don't think everybody was on the same page at 3 wide, which honestly, I don't blame them. It was kind of a weird positioning. But it didn't work out. I thought I'd be able to get more out of that. But in the end, I ended up coming up a little bit short on the setup, I think, because I was a little bit more sloppy than I wanted to be. I couldn't really put the car where I needed. Trying to make up for it, I put it off track like 2 times in the last corner. So go to work tonight and hopefully get something figured out, because they were putting down some killer laps. I think when we were here in, what was it, week 2, we were hitting like 44.2s in qualifying or something, and it was like 10 degrees hotter today, and we're hitting 44.1s. So that just kind of tells you how everybody stepped it up. So I just got back from the track this morning, actually, 20 minutes before the race. So hopefully we'll be able to put in some more work and figure out what we need to find and go from there.
Absolutely. Obviously, everyone getting more used to the cars they've been driving throughout the season. Obviously, 7 weeks of practice they've now had to get to this point. So they're setting some killer lap times, as you said. Next week, Iowa. I recall you telling us that that's your favorite circuit.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one, and I won't be coming home from the track this time. So hopefully all the work that went into that setup definitely shows. And because I think Iowa's like always just been the place where, it's kind of flowed for me. So I'm hoping that it'll continue to do that and we can get some wins next week.
Obviously, a massive Joker delta there, something like 11 seconds. That's going to play a big role in next week's race, I'm sure.
A lot of strategy. If you get stuck behind the wrong person in the hairpins, you're kind of done. So you just got to play it right.
Absolutely. Well, Garrett, thank you so much for joining us in the commentary box. Thank you, or congratulations even, for the 3rd place finish. Good luck for the rest of the week. And hopefully we'll see you back in the commentary booth for an interview after a good result next week at your favorite circuit, Iowa.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I also got to thank Smithfield 101 CBD. What do you call it? Sim Seats. Dang. All the boys over at ESC and Richmond Raceway for all their support. And hopefully we can continue to get this done and lock up the World Championship spot.
Absolutely. Well, good luck for the rest of the season, and thanks for joining us in the commentary box.
Thanks, sir.
Well, Joshua, great to hear from Garrett, but something that's just been pointed out to me by our good friend and colleague Austin Knight, who, as everyone watching remembers, our commentator for the first half of the season. He's just reminded me that Joni Ollikainen has now taken 3 jokers near the end of a race to go ahead and win that race. First at Atlanta Short, then at Phoenix, and now here at Atlanta Long. So he likes his late jokers, does Joni.
And it works really well, especially if you can go majority of the race like he does, the first 9 laps in this case, and just continuously chop off time to the front guys so you are able to be within that Joker delta at the perfect time, and then you take the Joker and you can either not lose positions or gain positions on the leaders and take that lead. And it's just beautiful how Joni Ollikainen can do that week in and week out, and it just works for him because he's a fast driver and he knows just where to put that car and when to do it.
Absolutely. Definitely one of the quicker drivers, right up there in the championship fight as well, looking to be the number 1 ranked rookie into the World Championship starting in a couple of months' time. You can see some good shots of him coming around that dirt section now. You can see how straight he has that car as he comes around there. When the surface wears down, it becomes almost similar to tarmac. You can see a bit of tarmac poking through the dirt in the background of that shot. So really interesting how these drivers have to adapt to the way that the track adapts, much more so than in the traditional forms of like road racing and ovals for that matter. But these guys have to deal with a lot more, and also 3 dimensions because they've got those jumps as well. So you've got to watch out in many different directions when you're driving these rallycross cars. As you've seen at the start, big incidents happening very often. They try to go 4 cars into really only where you can go 2 cars wide, so that's never going to really work. But good to see some good action here as well. Ollikainen once again with a fantastic Joker strategy. One of the few drivers with a spotter in this series. I've been looking at the drivers, the spotters in the session spectating. There's not too many. Only 3 or 4 drivers have got spotters, and those drivers seem to do pretty well. So I think maybe that's down to it quite a bit, Joshua.
Could be part of it because the spotters can really help these drivers just know what's around them, and they have better situational awareness with another eye in the sky. We see it in NASCAR, we see it in IndyCar with the ovals, and I think here on the sim, it is going to be very crucial for those drivers to have a spotter just to give them extra information in this iRacing Rallycross World Championship.
Absolutely. Once you get to the World Championship level, I think it's necessary to have a spotter with all the action that goes on there. Hearing whispers of a slightly different format for this season as well. We'll get some news on that fairly shortly from what I've been hearing. We've only got a few weeks left of this season, and then we've got the World Championship starting not long after that. So we're going to hear some announcements coming up soon, I think. Might even be able to get some guys in the commentary booth to talk about it in the next couple of rounds. We'll have to see what we can do. But Joni Ollikainen winning once again here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. That's been the story of the season. He's been winning a lot of these races in the qualifying series for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship. Thank you everyone for watching. I've been Dane Baird, joined by Joshua Lee. Mark Trent has been giving us all the great camera shots and the beautiful SDK gaming overlay that you've been seeing on your screens. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next week at Iowa. Wish you a good night and happy racing.